I've been thinking, some of us are broke because we deserve to be. We're greedy and we're bloody lazy. Let's talk about it. So my name is Shai Babatunde. I'm founder of Ken Blue. I support the growth of businesses through strategy, software, and all the fancy things that come with building your business. Today, I'm going to be talking about one of the key things we skip when we're looking at building our businesses, building our funnels, selling more, and converting more leads to clients. Let's just get into it. I'm going to give you one of the most important keys to selling more in your business. Messaging. Messaging is everything. Let's talk about it. When we talk about messaging, we talk about the words you use in your social media posts, your emails, your ads, on your landing page, in your forms. Literally, the words you're using to communicate your offer, your values, and everything you're trying to communicate to your prospects. Now, the reason why messaging is everything is because, first of all, you can have the best funnel software like Coldblue that we've got. You can have a beautiful landing page. The design is fantastic. You can have the perfect automation. It comes out at the right time and blah, 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 blah. You can have like money in your ads that is driving traffic. But if your messaging doesn't hit, none of it's gonna convert. So many people have put ads out there, put things out there that they said one thing in the ad, then they said another thing on the page, and then they did a VSL or a masterclass and said a completely different thing in the masterclass. The lack of consistency confuses people and puts them right off. Sometimes your messaging is attracting people through your ad, but it's attracting the wrong people because it's just poor messaging. So I want to give you 5 short points on how you can improve your funnel, get more leads, and convert more clients. So let's go. Number 1, know exactly who you're talking to. Now, we all know this, it's very obvious. Everybody says it, know your target market, know your target market. But no, we got to reiterate it. Honestly, knowing who you're talking to helps you know how to talk to them. A lot of the time, a lot of you people are using ChatGPT to write this lazy copy that's so generic. Write me an ad for helping businesses who want to grow, and ChatGPT is giving you some of the most obvious, terminology that I just plucked from God knows where that doesn't really resonate with anybody. Like when you were younger and there was that uncle or aunt or friend in the family who was much older who came around you and started using slang terms in a very overly forced way. And it's not like they were saying something wrong, but the way they were talking was just like, yeah, it's not it. It just wasn't really hitting. It wasn't really making sense. It's kind of like that, ChatGPT is like that older uncle or auntie who is trying to speak to you, to connect with you, but it's just not working. And that's what's killing your funnels. So many of us are using ChatGPT way too much to just write things and not really think about ensuring that we're connecting with people. If you want to use ChatGPT to write copy, tell it the words to include. You're trying to make sure that your message is reaching somebody, not everybody. The more inclusive your message, the poorer your messaging. Your messaging needs to be so succinct and so clear that anybody who is reading it or watching it knows exactly that you're talking to them. I heard a business guru, I respect her a lot. Her name's Natalie. She had a brilliant point one time. And she said, if people go to your content or go to your page and say, nah, this is not for me, that means you're doing good messaging. It means it's clear to the audience who it's not for, that it's not for them. It's only bad messaging if nobody thinks it's for them. That's a whole different story. But generally, if someone comes to your page and says, this might not be for me, it means that something is clear enough on your page to let them know who it's for. People who come to your page shouldn't be confused about who your page is for. They shouldn't be wondering, who is this? Is this for me? They shouldn't be halfway into your video working out if it's for them. With that being said, this video is for service-based business owners who are developing service-based businesses and trying to grow and sell more within the UK. Anyway, back to what I'm saying. Clarity creates connection. Often, it's not your product or your service that makes people feel that it's for them. It's how you understand the situation in the words you use. So the more you know who you're going for and the situation, the better your messaging will usually be. The second is, now put the right words to the situation. As much as possible, they need to read the message and think, this is exactly for me. It needs to be a situation where they're like, they're talking to me, he's talking to me, it's for me. Rather than a scenario where they're like, this is quite generic. Often, if it's generic, they won't even notice it. They'll read it and be like, and then move on. Describe their daily frustrations. Think about their pain, but in a story. If it's tiredness, what does tiredness equal for that particular person? Tiredness for them could be, you can't function, kids are screaming around, you're just exhausted, you want to go to bed, but you can't because the house is a mess. That is a picture of tiredness that some people can understand. Use their language, not just jargon. When you're trying to attract your prospects, you're not trying to show them that you're the right person to work with. In the beginning, you're trying to show them that you understand their problem. Sometimes you can change the jargon when you get closer to them purchasing, so they know that you're a professional and you know what you're talking about. But in the initial stages, don't use jargon, just speak normally. You're trying to connect with somebody's situation and show that you understand what they're going through and what they're dealing with. So when we're saying use words, the words should paint their reality clearly. Unpack their pains from generic to specific. If somebody is feeling anxiety, understand what about their situation will make them anxious, specifically, not what about. So if what you're saying relates to too many groups, it means you're not being niche enough. Think about why I'm working with small businesses, I'm trying to help them grow. Okay, what does a lack of growth mean for a small business? What's their pain? They're doing a lot of work and not getting the results. What does that look like specifically? Sending out lots of messages and nobody's answering. Sending out cold emails, nobody's responding. Trying to reach out to different businesses and, sending out proposals, but nobody's closing. That's what a lack of growth is looking like to smaller businesses. To larger businesses, it might be retention is low. For a larger business, it might be that costs are high, so they're not growing. Larger businesses may have that problem, but they may have other ones that connect to them more that don't connect to smaller businesses. So it's about understanding what words might hit and resonate. With a smaller business, it might be good to say, you don't have a big budget, you used your last amount of money to run ads, and now you're doing direct to DMs and no one's responding. You're speaking about the situation in such a way that the entrepreneur who's watching the video or reading the message or reading the email is saying, no, he's talking to me. This person understands me. Third, similar to what I just said, is speak to real consequences. Not just highlighting the pain, speak to real consequences. Don't just use buzzwords. I hate the word burnout. Stop saying burnout. It's such a ChatGPT, I think I'm an uncle, I'm trying to be cool word everyone uses. Don't just say burnout. Say, are you working long hours and not seeing any income? Go even deeper. Are you embarrassed that you've been working so hard and you left your job, but nobody can see the fruit of it? That's part of the burnout. Part of the burnout is not just that I'm working hard, it's that my wife is asking me what's going on. My mum is saying, why did you leave your job? My cousin is saying, I told you you should have stayed in your... Like, that is part of the burnout. So don't just say, burnout, are you tired? Speak to the situation, speak to the consequences of the pain. Are you losing leads because you're constantly overwhelmed? Don't just say, are you not growing? Don't just say, are you losing leads? Speak as much as possible to the situation. Speak to the consequences of their pain. Now, you can only do that if you've done number one. You know exactly who you're talking about, so you know what their specific consequences are. People don't buy because you understand the labels. They buy when you can highlight the relief to their consequence. When you can highlight the relief of that consequence. You can highlight, hey, I understand what's going to happen. We can stop it. The example I love to give is when you buy cough medicine, a lot of the cough medicines in the shops have the same thing in the back. If you turn over the back, you see it. But some of the brands would be saying chesty cough, runny nose, sore throat, dry cough. You usually take the same medicine for all of those symptoms, usually. So you can usually have one medicine that just says flu or cold medicine, simple as that. There are literally medicines that are called cold and flu. But some brands decide to separate the symptoms and separate what the consequences of that flu are. For you, the consequences are a chesty cough. For you, the consequences are a sore throat. So because they're calling out the consequences and they're now saying, get fast relief for your sore throat, that appeals to me more than just, here's cough medicine, take cough medicine. Number 4, after speaking about pain and consequences, it's also wise to highlight a desired outcome, a desired situation, a desired transformation. Pain gets attention, desire drives action. So when you're doing your messaging, you're using the pain to get the person's attention, to make them say, okay, you know me, you see me, you understand where I'm coming from. Then the desired transformation is what now makes them say, okay, I'm gonna go with you, I'm gonna follow you, I'm going to trust you. But again, this can't happen unless you understand the audience you're going for and you understand their true pain, the consequences of their pain. When you understand the consequence of someone's pain, you can understand the desired transformation. If I have a sore throat, what is my desired transformation? So don't just describe what they're escaping, also describe what they're trying to move towards. Someone's burnt out. What do they exactly want? They want relief, they want freedom. Do they want more time? Do they want more control? Do they want more predictable income so they're not too stressed? Do they want recognition? Do they want peace of mind? Sometimes the things they want aren't the same as somebody else in a similar situation. Some people want peace of mind more than money. Some people want time more than recognition. Some people want recognition more than money. It's about looking at the audience you're going for and thinking about what is it that they want? What is their desired result above all else? Good messaging shows where you are and also highlights where you can be. Last point is, every word must earn its place. Don't just write what you think you should write. This is where I bring up the ChatGPT issue again. Don't just say, ChatGPT, give me copy for da-da-da-da-da-da. Every word needs to earn its place. Every word needs to be relevant. Every word needs to be important. Every word needs to be strategic. Words aren't just there to decorate the sentence. They're actually there to give direction. They're actually there to evoke feeling. They're actually there to psychologically change and shift the prospect to stranger, to not knowing you, then to liking you, then to trusting you, then to buying from you. So ask, is this clear? Is this connecting with what they've said and what I understand of the prospect? Is it specific? Is it simple? Have I simply highlighted what I understand from them? Here's an important question I want you to ask. Would my audience say it this way? This is one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of ChatGPT when it comes to writing copy if you just write it plainly. I think ChatGPT is perfect if you can prompt very well. Prompting is a skill. So when you're thinking about getting ChatGPT and other platforms like that, Claude or Gemini, whoever it is, to write you copy, make sure you're giving it phrases and words and ideas that resonate with what your audience feels. So how it writes for you will connect with how your audience would feel, would sound how your audience would say things. Often, I tell people, avoid expert language. Like I said, if you're trying to attract people, if it's the top of the funnel, an ad, a cold email, avoid corporate jargon, avoid sounding fancy, avoid using complicated expertise. Don't overcomplicate your sentence. Sound friendly, sound human, and don't make abstract promises. Speak to things clearly, not abstractly. If you message well, it feels like a conversation. It feels like they're talking to another person about their reality. Here's the thing I want you to understand. If a prospect is going through your funnel or going through your process and they say, this sounds good, if you're in a sales call with them and it says, this sounds good, you're losing them. They need to be like, wait, that's exactly what I need. That's exactly what I'm going through. They need to be like, this specifically resonates with me, rather than this sounds like a good idea. Of course, if what you're saying is positive, it will always sound like a good idea. But what you're looking for is, that's me. That's what I need. I hope that was useful. I hope those points help you to message better, to create better content, and to attract better prospects. Till the next time, my name is Shai Babatunde. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow us on all other socials, connect with us so you can join our Blue Circle community and partner with us as we invest £10,000 into your business this year. Anyway, see you guys on the other side.